I would never give him a long-term contract again. He cannot be trusted. I'm going to be calm when I say this, Key. We are witnessing one of the most delusional athletes in American history. He's lost.
Do you think that Kyrie is worth all of this drama?
No, he's not. He's not worth it at all. A matter of fact, let me say this straight up and down. I think Kyrie Irving should retire. I think he should announce his retirement today.
The video you're about to watch on Self Talk's YouTube channel is for fair use purposes.
What's good, YouTube? In today's video, we got a Stephen A. Smith video standing with Kyrie Irving after Nats released a list of demands. I've already covered that multiple times on this channel. I'll have the demands up right here. Y'all can pause it, read it if you need to. Go watch some of my other videos on my channel covering this Kyrie Irving news. With that being said, let's get into today's clip of Stephen A. Smith backing Kyrie Irving. Here's the video.
The Nets have suspended Kyrie Irving, as you know, for a minimum of 5 games based on his tweet promoting an anti-Semitic film and then his reaction afterwards. So the Nets also have laid out a 6-step path for him to return to playing. Those steps have raised some eyebrows among other players around the league, and the Players Union is considering an appeal. nbpa Vice President Jalen Brown telling the Boston Globe. On Monday, Brown is quoted as saying, "I'm expecting the nbpa to appeal the suspension from Brooklyn, the terms, etc., that went into his return, the terms for his return. They seem like a lot, and a lot of players expressed discomfort with those terms." Okay. Tim, good morning. Thank you for being with us. I'll get to you in just a second. Stephen A., your thoughts on this potential appeal?
I 1,000% agree with Jalen Brown. I stand with him. And I know that's saying a lot because we know how critical I can be and have been of Kyrie Irving. But this is excessive. The fact of the matter is that right now you're engaging in emasculation based on the reports about how the Nets have a checklist of things that they need Kyrie Irving to do. Okay, now be clear, Tim Legler. He brought it on himself. I'm fully knowledgeable about that. Him putting out a tweet, supporting a film with anti-Semitic tropes and stuff like that was inexcusable. It was insensitive. It was juvenile. It was stupid. Okay? And the kind of heat that he's brought upon himself thus far is self-inflicted and largely, if not entirely, of his own volition. So he deserves it. But now you're going a step too far. Okay? The man apologized. All right? He's been suspended. And that. Now you as an organization have to make it. Do you want him on your team? Do you keep him on the rest of the year? Or you can elect to let him go while making him sit home and you have to pay him unless you trade him. It's that simple. But to sit up there and to have these lists of conditions that he has to do, I think what you're trying to do is elevate the level of embarrassment that is being thrown in his direction and, dare I say, emasculate him, which is why Jalen Brown has spoken up, which is why black people are going to raise holy hell about that, and which is why I'm going to be one of those folks leading the chorus to raise holy hell about that. Leave a man alone. Keep him on a team or let him go. Suspend him, bring him back. But when you start talking about, well, he needs training and all of that, wait a minute now. The fact of the matter is he apologized. He acknowledged, albeit a bit too late as far as I'm concerned, he still apologized, acknowledged that he's not anti-Semitic, okay, that he made a mistake in putting the film out there. Okay, of course, when the owner reaches out to you, you should respect this man that's paying you and reach back out to him. Of course, Joe Tsai should demand we have to meet and have a conversation before I let you back on his team. That is reasonable. That is understandable. But to then try to articulate that he needs to go through sensitivity training and all of this other stuff, now you really digging it in. It's unnecessary. It's uncalled for. If the Anti-Defamation League wants to raise holy hell about that, and they want that, and they request that of Kyrie Irving, that's between them and Kyrie Irving. Last time I recall, Josiah is not Jewish. Josiah is an owner for the Brooklyn Nets. You want him on the team or you don't. But to sit there and highlight and articulate these processes that he must go through, it seems to be a bit pouring on. I don't appreciate it. I don't like it. It's a bit excessive. And that's what I wanted to say about it. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, all right, well, first, listen, there's a lot of layers to this story, right? So let's start with the Jalen Brown comments. I completely agree with you, Stephen A. When you look at the list of things that the Nets are asking him to do, there is no question that they are trying to now really stick it to Kyrie and make sure that there are so many conditions to it that, like you said, you're basically asking him to completely capitulate to the organization, right? That's what they're asking him to do. And look, make no mistake about it, I expect there to be an appeal because that's their job, right? The nbpa represents the players. It's their client. It's no different than like a criminal defense attorney. You're going to defend your client. That's what the nbpa should do. In almost every case, they're going to appeal it. So that's nothing crazy. And some people are criticizing the nbpa for taking that stance. I don't. That's their client. That's who they represent. They're going to do everything they can to try to mitigate what the Nets are asking Kyrie Irving to do. Having said all of that, I think the only reason Kyrie Irving is in this position that they're asking so many things is because of his reaction to Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai is the top of the food chain in the organization, and I think if Kyrie Irving has a major problem in how he handled this, it's because he did not give that man the respect he deserves. If he had handled that in the beginning, I do not think the Nets would be asking all of these conditions of Kyrie Irving. So you point out he brought it on himself. We both agree on that. We both also agree on this is a little bit extensive, what they're asking him to do, but he could have avoided it if he had just communicated with the owner. That's the guy that cuts the checks. And Kyrie Irving, I think, does not want to be accountable to anybody. Sometimes when you have wealth, you've got notoriety, you've got fame, you think you're not accountable to anybody. Well, that's not the way it works when you are in an organization. There's a hierarchy there, and he has to answer to that man. And if he had just communicated with him, I think he could have avoided a lot of this. But now it's taken a turn, and we're going to see this is really a giant game of chicken. And they're trying to get Kyrie Irving to cave on this. And let's see how far he is willing to take this and how long he is willing to sit out, trying to make sure he does not do the things that the Nets are asking him to do. But I think he could have avoided it if he hadn't disrespected Joe Tsai. So that's the other layer to this. It's their relationship and the disrespect that he showed the owner. And I think that's really what this is about on the part of the Nets. I think he could have gotten away with the apology that he issued and get back to playing basketball. But the fact that he didn't do a verbal apology and he did not communicate with the owner and repeatedly ignored him over a period of days has put him in this position now where they're going to make him extra accountable to the organization. And I really think that's what this is. There's a little bit of pride there on both sides that's taking place.
See, the interesting part about it is, Tim, is I don't disagree with anything that you said. You're right on point with it. What I'm saying is let's get to the real crux of the matter. Everything that you said, I've said what I had to say, you said what you had to say, and you're right on point. There's no disagreement between you and I in that regard. What I'm saying is that now it comes down to you trying to emasculate him because of the decisions that he's made and because of how he handled it. My point is let him go. Cut him, send him home and say you'll pay him for the rest of the season, or let him come back, as opposed to putting it on Front Street in a completely, entirely different situation. One of the things that I kept harping on as it pertained to Ime Udoka in Boston was that it was an HR matter that should have been handled internally as opposed to publicized. You see what I'm saying? Because that public emasculation is what I have a problem with, because we can go throughout history in the NBA, in the National Football League, along with a plethora of other situations where we don't see the same level of momentum, the same level of passion, etc., being accorded to others in dicey situations, as we've seen accorded to these black men. And what I'm saying is, although Kyrie is not right in any way, he is definitely wrong. I am not here to defend what he did because he was wrong. And his reluctance and hesitancy in apologizing was wrong. And his unwillingness to communicate with Joe Tsai, the nerve of you to do that. But that's a perfect reason to say, stay your behind home. Don't bother coming back. To have these conditions and to publicize those conditions, not only are you trying to appease to outside forces, but you are also doing it while emasculating this black man. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that, because I can point to numerous cases throughout history where that level of momentum is not consistent. If you do it to everybody, I'm good. But when you highlight it for certain people, that's when I have a problem with it. And that is why I'm standing up here now saying they're crossing the line with how they publicized the conditions, the remedial conditions under which they want Kyrie to return. That was not our concern, and there's a reason you're doing it, because you're emasculating him. I don't like it.
We're up against it. Tim.
All right, guys, before I let y'all go in today's video, please give this video a thumbs up. We should be getting at least 500 to 1,000 likes on this YouTube channel. Smash that thumbs up button. Help this video get pushed out to the algorithm. I couldn't do this without y'all, man. Y'all been doing a great job at sharing my videos, liking these videos. I just want to take my time out in today's video, say I really appreciate that. So with that being said, let me get a little bit of more context of why I made that intro clip in today's video. The reason why I did that is because I feel like Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe, and Jay Will, and a lot of other media heads, I feel like they all got the same script to read that day, and they all started just slowly coming out backing Kyrie all of a sudden. It's like they act like we don't see how they just flipped the switch. At first, they was very critical. Even before this, super critical of Kyrie. Stephen A. Smith has a long catalog of going in on Kyrie. I don't trust these guys, man. As much as they like to butter the shit up, once we start applying pressure, we meaning you and I, because I'm the content creator and y'all are the listeners, and y'all do a hell of a job at sharing these videos and leaving comments and applying pressure, bro. Like, the shit that we doing, they can't take that shit. When they see there's a backlash from the shit that they doing, they gotta clean it up. So then they'll start going live and doing other shit, reading the same script. Jay Williams used the word buck breaking. Stephen A. Smith used the word emasculating. And Shannon Sharpe said the Nets are doing a bit too much. So it's kind of like they all got the same script. Then they just came on TV or whatever platform they went on and repeated the same shit in different words. But I listen carefully because I'm a content creator. And I'm like, man, you know, these dudes is all reading the same script. So I'm not going to be too critical towards that, but I just want to say that it needs to be an even balance with this shit. You know, like, if y'all going to be critical towards Kyrie like that, at least give Brett Favre that same smoke. So yeah, man, with that being said, I didn't want to hold y'all too long in today's video, man. I just want to get this out here and highlight the fact that I really don't trust these guys, man. You know, I feel like Jay Will supporting Kyrie was a little bit more genuine than Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A. Smith, because Jay Williams haven't really critiqued Kyrie Irving like Shannon Sharpe and Smith. So I just don't trust these guys, man, and that's just how I feel about it. So with that being said, man, leave a comment down below. If you're new to the channel, comment down new sub. If you've been around, comment down salute. I'll catch y'all on the next video, man. That's my time. We out.
If you made it this far in the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and leave a comment down below.